Aisha, we're going to speak to you. Archangel Michael says that I can say this, and it's absolutely positively true. Now, you know that sometimes even it seems like the people are too young, and that happened a really long time ago. And we know that it may have been such a case where a woman searched for her child that had a birthmark, and God helped her to be able to find the child. Okay, but it said during and she survived. It's obvious she survived, and she was able to find her child. And so during Auschwitz and during the Nazis doing things, but the Nazis did things too. Okay, but they gathered people together, and they made everybody do a certain thing to find out who was rich. They attacked the royals, and they attacked anybody they knew that would not be anybody that was rich, anybody that had any money, and then everybody at one time had to go to what they forced people to do, and to their whatever they did to be Nazis, and then after they got through finding out who had what, then they start taking people to different places and starting trying to kill her people. So she may have found her child, but we don't want people coming to try to fool. Actually, you'd be wrong if you thought that people would not be trying to come and trying to be fooled. They killed 90% of the German Jews. They killed 33 of our beloved real Royal Rothschild's family members, other family members, obviously, and they had bank accounts that were dormant and left. And I had to claim Mom, Doda, Secretary Rothschild's Putin claimed them. And it was my turn to claim them. And of course, we watched the people try to steal those identities. I watched to see where they would go. And then I saw that the names disappeared. They were attached to my name. And then when the crooked cops pulled me aside with the badge, said, sodomite, lying, filthy, dirty people, they stole that document that was attached to those names. For their bed to say sodomite, they're stalking black Nazi and Dana, aka Dana Hutton, aka Aaliyah, and the Nazis make lots of those things. So help me God, I swear we saw. I'm sorry. So I do not believe. You're not to believe, and not to believe all these people that would try to tell lies. But we know that people would try to tell lies. Nobody wants to be fooled. No, they go back, they steal papers, and they try to tell a lie, and then they come and they do dirty things. We dirty things to people and still keep trying. I told you about the lesbian couple kept trying to get it. Maybe we changed, and then the crooked guard was helping them, and the guard left, and they're not allowed to come to the synagogue and try to tell a lie. They sent people in there to the rabbi, and you can tell that they're not right. And so then when we start talking about our law and how our government's going to be made, again, we have talked about this before. From Jordan, because when everybody saw them, and the bad people just up to us, and then God gave them COVID. So we know what we're saying is true. Okay, so and we know that you put these things up. So we saw it when I got ready to tap into what it was, and same as I can show you the article. Again, it went away. So yeah, I know you would probably most likely show the article again, but just want to let you too. And we got that man that came that was a SS officer or something, and he can't convert. So he was a known stuff. He can't be unless he can't convert him, and he was Catholic. You have to be able to go back and everything way back and be able to tell who, because you can't convert a Catholic and you can't convert a Jew. So he might have, but I don't think he was right. He falsified things that got into our they try to get positions in security and other things, so they can try to take over, like what's that movie, Boys from Brazil. There may be some people who, and the rabbis will be able to tell this, that they could go back in their line and see that there was a Jew, and then they can't. They know that their blood can't be converted. Their bloodline can't be converted. They can check it. People know where their families members come from. So we just want to let you know too. So we can't accept any fake things. So true, it may have been that during that time she was able to find her child because God did help us, and she found him with a birthmark. Now, but then you must question these things. You must be very careful, and only our beloved real God is God alone will allow that. All of us are going to make it, and all of us that are to be are going to be. We told you, and the rabbis, they were like, what I said was true. What we said was true. That everybody is Semitic and has a Semitic origins in the end of the sea. Everybody will come up and have Sukkot. That also reveals that Abraham's household, everybody came from the garden, the real people. They came from the offspring. The God shows us the first Adam and Eve, the second Adam and Eve, and Noah and his wife were the showed us the first Noah's wife and the second Noah's wife, as David and Bathsheba, Abigail and Michael were telling you these things are true. So we know that the bad things will try to get in. So everybody wants you to be careful, please, because we're not allowed to accept any fake things or any hard things or any homo things and things like that. I have told us, like, don't let that in. The rabbis don't let that in. You know, they made that. Those aren't any Jews. What's a whore slut walk? Okay, so that's really wrong. They come to try to do things. Every day I get threatened we're getting threatened by the Catholics and the homosexuals, and you're going to wish you never did this. When we know what they did is wrong. During kidnapping abduction, we were abducted by Pope Benedict, Pope John Paul. They did allow counter in Rome, and everybody chasing us said they would try to. All the people we mentioned, Beyonce, AK, really a man, Laura Des, AK, they're even Hannah. My name is Hanai, and she tried to take my identity. She stole that card. They still the same as when we were little kids. She looked the same, and the students told me, the guys told me that she was she tried to remember that she was a harlot. I didn't remember her mother, and her came after us, and her so-called grandfather, and it's supposed to be her sister. They're devils, okay, and they are Catholic, but they pretend to be something else. That's right. And so she threatened our family members, okay, because she couldn't be. She came after my husband. Her mother came after my husband. These are not Jews, okay, and they were everybody knew that they were Catholic. They bragged about they were Catholic. There's no Catholic rabbi, okay. So go way back in the line. You'll be able to tell, because people don't keep their traditions. There's something that they have. So she may have been able to find her child miraculously with the birthmark. But what if she was some Nazi that tried to? There's still the final solution. She was trying to steal somebody's identity, and she was doing her part, because everybody that did that in World War II against our people and against the holy people, they did their part. They mixed with fallen things. They knew what they were doing. They have that church. They mixed with they mixed with their mother and father and sister and brother, made babies, and then they saw they got caught, so they would probably might be able to move out and regroup and try to do things. So we're not saying that, because Archangel Michael said maybe during that time it's possible, but you must be very, very careful. Now I know you know, all right, I know you know that they're not of anything except trying to do things to people. The benches are not judging people, and they're trying to steal my identity and my papers and my things, and try to say they're me. They are not me. Okay, let's put fake people. Now you mentioned the birthmark, because I have a birthmark, right? Okay, a birthmark that wasn't visible to people, but that helped me to remember. When I saw it, I'm like, I saw it again. They would have seen it when I was a baby. Okay, and then I saw it again, and I'm like, a birthmark that they knew nothing about. Plus, every Jew has a embedded and is not visible to people, and in them has a alphabet, something embedded in them that shows that they're Jewish, and it's not visible to the eye, not the naked eye. So we know that we can determine who we are, our people. We told you that Abraham's whole household was Jewish. Okay, everybody, even the children that went out and they were blessed to be able to fight off and not be fooled by the fallen things. They got blessings too. And Isaac and Ishmael, they were blessed, two different blessings. Both have the covenant of God. So and also our relative who we told you that Bubby was Jewish, and we told you that when I told them that had seen God's hands come through the clouds. So all the children, the royal children with us, and the royals we went to a place, because God said be at a certain place, and we and then God took his hands through the clouds and talked to people. He told Dodi Masika Bubby, he loved her, but to get rid of the pork, you can't eat pork. You must not have pork, and it can't be in the land. When I said they asked me, Israel asked me, they were thinking about don't think about it. We are not allowed to have pork. It should be illegal. And everyone should help remember. So we just wanted to. So and then I helped to outlaw pork and Russia. There's no homosexuality allowed. They're going to try to bring those things in there. What's eye candy? What's that? They're trying to destabilize things. And what's Hooters? Okay, so they're trying to do dirty things. These are not any Jewish people or Muslim people. The woman I have to say again, she says a Jewish woman, a beautiful Jewish woman. There's no homosexual Jew. And I add, there's no homosexual Muslim. There's nothing like that. We don't break those laws, okay? Because we don't do those things and go around. The man with the crutches is a homosexual, and he's trying to attack me for his bad. He says, "My government." He's trying to kill me and my beloved and all of Russia's family, except me. He's trying to steal for his government, and it's a bunch of them. He wants to be in the place of us and with his sodomite people, and he's really like fizzled. There's no way he could do it, but they would just try to physically kill. And the angel said that they would try to do, everybody guilty in here that's going to be arrested would try to do something. We would try to help that man and help the government do things to us. And so there will be everybody else too. They lost people. They look at that picture. That's that little boy died. Okay, he died. His little brother's on his back, and he goes to the place and takes his brother there, and he most likely went someplace and died. So they're ugly, and what would they do? They're ugly people. They're the wicked people, and it's not funny. I'm not laughing. It's funny, but they're really dirty. So you must be careful. When we see the ages, how long ago was that? How old would they be? Okay, they would be little kids when they were born. Then it's just sometimes the ages are off. They're either too young or they're it's just off. So they would be stealing papers from people. That's where Bush got papers from, the Bush Anheuser noble people. If he had been that, they were Jews. If he had been that, he would have tried to use the whole word, their name, and he would have spelled it like them. The B-U-S, just the way they spelled it. Those people all died in World War II. So we're just trying to let you know again. It's really quite small nobility. That means they have some kind of thing to do with royalty and the location where they were. So it's really quite wrong. Okay, so that they keep trying to send people that thing that I know it's a man, and if it's not, it's a homosexual. It has big feet, and it looks better than me, and it's me, and they stalk and say, take this one, take that one. It looks better than that one. Get rid of it. Telling people to get rid of me because I was ugly. Okay, these are not normal people, and they would do anything because now it's at the end of time for all bad things, and they would do anything to be us. We have a coveted position. We're secured and sealed by our beloved robe. God is God alone. I know you put this up so I can see that because you send mails to us, and so I know you can see all these things, that there's something wrong. There's too many of certain things, and so one let you because God, we showed you in the population chart when Hitler came about, it's not any population explosion where they were doing all that. He made stuff. And all of a sudden there's a big jump, and there's things that shouldn't be. God made us. God made me and my beloved Lee, and all of Rothschild's family, all of Shepard's friends, all of our families, all people, we're animals. And God made our very, very large kingdom that lasts forever, never destroyed, never transferred the people. I repeat, God made our very, 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 very large kingdom, the largest kingdom ever was ever be. Our beautiful and holy kingdom, our eternal kingdom that lasts forever and ever, never to be destroyed, never transferred people. We're sealed within there. They think they can come in and do things and take over and beat and kill people, and then these are not normal things. These are Nazi people. These are people that aren't Jews that would do something like that or try to do something like that. So they would try to come in other country. The Federation, it wasn't that they didn't have any money. We had to slow that down because of benefits. I'm not sure people brag about that. I would fund their invasion. They would get fake papers and try to say they were other people, obviously we're trying to say, or pretend to be something that they're not. And so they said so, and we just want to let you know again too. So you're seeing things, and you have seen things. They're trying to make everything like Iraq and Afghanistan and any other place, because but we were in the UAE when they were made to leave Afghanistan. The man kept telling them to leave. They wouldn't leave, and the Jewish man from Afghanistan, if the only they were all Jewish, because they said so. We just went to and we were always the king and queen of Afghanistan and Iraq and all those different places. They came, they saw things, they tried to take things, they tried to steal, and they tried to sit up and bring their sodomite rule and filth. So they would try any other way. So just want to listen to everybody wants to Muslim and Jew. Everybody, we're Jewish. We're Semites. Everybody with us wants everybody to be careful, because there'll be lots of fakes. That man with the crutch is a fake. Does he really have a foot problem? Or did he come, what we said, to try to him and the other side of us to try to kill us in here and try to take over and try to sit up? My husband has to remind me, he said, they're crazy. They grab you on the street and do things. I'm sure they did that to people in Iraq. I keep thinking about that family that they talked about. There was 12 people in the family. They went inside and killed everybody in the house. And I remember seeing the women that they said they're killing our men. They went there and killed their men? Why did they go there for that? They went to try to steal money and take over and do things. And I'm sorry, they were wrong. They did a terrible thing, and they would do that in any other place. And they would send the 10 most terrible Nazi females. You look on the internet, they mentioned that. They killed people. So don't think they would not try to come another way. They're always trying to try to send us a man that looked like a woman to try to rape and kill us. This is that day and time. They have all these sodomites that think they can have a sex change and become a woman. And they're still men, and they're crazier than anything anybody's ever seen. And they're mixed with all things. They do all kinds of dirty things. When Turkey, we've always been together. When Turkey and Greece, those people, they didn't say anything about it, because they found out what it was. It was men dressed as women trying to get inside. They made them undress and found out they were men. They pushed them right back over the border and out. Turkey and Greece, because we can't accept those things. We don't want those things. We don't want the dirty things. And we know that they did a terrible thing. So we're not saying, the Archangel Michael is saying, maybe then, but it might have been she was able, with the help of God, only the help of God, she would be able to have done that. And so, but not now. It's a different time, and plus the years and things. So the rabbis, everybody, all of are clergy. What to do? You're the clergy, and so you are not those other people. They're terrible. We were kidnapped by the Pope. Get out of here. And he called me. I'm a little girl. We're little children. My husband tried to help rescue me, and they sent those things after us. They did our account in Rome during our kidnapping abduction. I repeat, I have nothing to say to those people, because God has said, and he sent Archangel Gabriel when they call themselves sending those angels back to heaven. They're not any magic, anything. They were real. They called them space aliens. They weren't space aliens. And they knew when they came, they would have to go. They would go soon. They came in a corporal form, and they would have to go back a certain way. And they came to stay with us as long as they could. And they said they would come back, and they were able to come back. They're back. So they called him. So Gabriel was stabbed by a harlot. We were with him. She had a big long syringe. He had this thick wool coat. She stabbed him in the arm, and whatever she gave to him, it caused him to go back, back to heaven. But he told us he would be back. He's back. So they're just really quite wrong. They're really quite wrong. And he's an angel. They're angels, and they came back in their form, and they're the same. It's just it. And so how they told lies on them. Why are there angels' wings on that? They make like 10 songs. They helped to catch these dirty things that were after us, and they were fallen and mixed with all things, and trying to do and threatening us that they would, the things that Beyonce, aka Really Man, said it would serve the devil to try to kill all of us. So there would be more than just that. The ones that are attacking and getting smart, they have their marked by what they do. They do all kinds of dirty, lascivious things, and are against our beloved royal God, who's God, who's King of the universe. They're against our beloved royal God's laws and rules, and they would try to kill everyone that is good. They would try to. They're really nasty because they die. My beloved like Shalice said, they die and they want everybody else to die too. We're not to believe any false things. We're not to have wormwood. We're only to worship our beloved God, world God, who's God, who's King of the universe, and that's it. Who's the true God, and all of us are going to do that. We will make it, even though we are. It seems we're a small number. It will be a massive amount of wicked people. At least 5 billion people are wicked. At least 5 billion people are mixed with fallen things and do dirty things, drink human blood, eat animals alive, are homosexual, and eat human flesh. That's a lot of people. Okay, but we know that we will be, because our God protects us. 1/3 of the population is saved. That's us. So we must be very, very careful. I know you pointed that out so I can see that. Yes, I have a birthmark. They don't know what it is. And everybody has that mark, and everybody would have something like that too. That's not visible to the naked eye. Aleph, a letter, ancient Aramaic, Hebrew. And so he said, and so everybody knows that we're real. And so he says, we just want to let you again too. And so I saw the mark. I know where mine is, and basically said, and we know this. So just not the golem, not any of those things. We are marked by God, and my fingerprints. They wanted to cut off my hands. My fingerprints. They wanted to take my hands, cut them off, and sew them onto Aaliyah, aka Dana Hunter, anything they made. Madonna wanted to take my face, I'm so ugly, and get a face transplant. Jenna wanted to take my uterus and put it in a jar. They'd all look at it. Okay, so there's something wrong with that. And they're what, you say? When I was finally rescued in 2010, and they still keep, bad you say, some dirty people still keep trying to do things, and they threaten us all the time, and they do all kinds of dirty things. He told a lie about where I came from. I'm not from over there. Okay, so Mrs. said, and then they had Hurricane Sandy. They had a hurricane, and we understand that everybody of ours survived in New York, but people were crying because it was really a terrible hurricane. And we know that people that Beyonce and Apostle Show's people that were there, they left then too, but they left things behind. And so we understand that they were crying like women. They're sodomites. They were crying, and they knew that God was God. Those are fallen things. But all our people survived. I understand. And so, to make a long story short, Hurricane Sandy, God always told Pastor Charles he was going to take him out by hurricane. He said he would go to places where there weren't any hurricanes. But it's unusual for a hurricane to reach so far, and that happened in New York. And then they made fun about it, fun of it when we had a Lebanon War II, how they lost 167 people in the hurricane, but it was probably most likely more than that. And how they tried to hurt our people and in Israel, and they couldn't. They're really quite wrong. The devil people, and how they tried to set up we only let that happen, and there's no permanent military base in Israel. They tried to set up a appalling thing. We knew it would be the appalling thing. 120 homosexual soldiers they sent. Now, homosexuals cannot be friends with holy people. They were made to leave. They said they had their orders. What orders? And then they refused to leave, but they were made to leave, but not the way they came. Everybody knew there was something wrong with them. They were made to leave. And so everybody knows that they're set up in military bases. Everybody's country. I'm going to think Vladimir Putin. All the grown-ups said there was something wrong with that. You have embassies. Why do you need military bases in other people's homes? They are going to lead this universe, and they would come any kind of way they could. Bush was a master forger. That's right. He had forged his own papers. He had been from the real Bush family. Anheuser-Busch, he would have spelled his name the right way. He was being arrested. They were all being arrested for the police thing, and he was being arrested, and they ran. Okay, he said, and they still made that something. Okay, so you must be careful. We know, and I know that's why you're saying that. I'm sorry, but we were kidnapped by the Pope. By Pope Benedict, Pope Francis. He was invisible then, a.k.a. Mr. Robinson, Hitler's son. No. So no. And Pope John Paul, no. They kidnappers, not hiding anything, blowing up other countries in Rome, trying to kill us and trying to do things. They're wicked. Everybody knows they're wicked. The things they do, everything they do, even they're eating. So I know that there were people, we lived in that time period where they killed us first. They killed me and Shabi. Okay, but so we live again. Remember the movie Schindler's List? Okay, and the woman said it'd take more than that. It's accurate. It'd take more than that, and they and she knew that she would live again. And she knew that it would not kill our people, because we will survive, and we will be as God has said we are going to be, and we are to be meticulous and not believe. Uh, 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 Everybody says don't let the fakes, and we know, don't be fooled by the fakes, because we know the fakes will die off. Was it burning people for 7 months? They already have a plague. It's massive. It's backed up, staggered, and stacked over plague after different plague after different plague. They're going to go. And one of my favorite biblical punishments is Mosaic law punishment. Yes, the hot metal poured down a liar's throat. It would have to be just for a liar. I've always thought that was a perfect punishment for somebody who caused death by telling lies and killing people and starting wars. They're liars. And make sure you don't burn the mouth. The way to administer the punishment, it says they put cloth by and hold the sides of the mouth open and pour melted metal down the throat of the guilty. That will be a just punishment, biblical judgment, for a liar. Somebody who caused massive war, went around telling lies and trying to kill people to red things. So basically said, and so God sends a fireball from heaven above, fire and brimstone, to destroy Magog, which is not over here. And they would try to kidnap somebody and try to go to Mars. I have business. They're not kidnapping me, or anybody else, and they will come back and get people. They have a lie they're going to tell. They would go to the Mars and come back and get everybody off the planet and take them to Mars. They don't know what's up there, except I know that there's a massive asteroid belt, and they would just be crushed. They would never ever make it. We showed the asteroid patterns if you look. They're made to keep people in check and keep everything in balance. They're not anything. They did something wrong to God, and they're going to go, and they're not going to be. And our earth is going to be. Our God made this, and we're supposed to. It's going to be the way that God intended things to be in the beginning, as it will be in the end of time for all bad things. I know they're scary people. They're scary, but if you hold fast and hold tight to our beloved real God, God, who's the true God, King of the universe, you will be. And we know that. We know our God. And they're trying to escalate and make World War II again, their final whatever. They're not going to do that. The man is like telling me, harassing me. He picks up his crutch, and we knew that he was a soldier. Him and the other one. You're finished. They're given threats. And I repeat, in our things, they didn't have any money to pay for anything. There's some people that came another way. No. And harassing me, sodomite, filth, dirt. No, we will not be fooled. We will not be tricked. They want to know the birthmark. Okay, but so we know other people are from Abraham's household, and from Abraham from the garden. The rabbis say from the garden. The people came from Noah's ark. We know in the configuration we will be. The real people are from the beginning, from when God made heaven, earth, land, and sea. We're the first Noah, first Adam and Eve, first known as wife. We're the second Adam and Eve, second known as wife, second. And the God shows as these things, as these people, and we know we have memory. So we know that we're able to explain to you where we found all the children and who came from the children, and not just Noah's children. We know where Noah's children are, Noah's grandchildren, and we took them someplace. We know where they are. These people are wrong and wicked. They went and tried to do something to them too. And they started that war. In that location, when they found that something might be there, they're wicked. It does not. You're not going to steal somebody's identity and take their identity and say you're them. It doesn't work. It would never work. Our CASIC records records everything. Remember that everything you ever say or do is recorded in heaven. It's better than any recorder. And so just to so there's a record that's kept in heaven. So we appreciate the story you tried to show to us, Aisha, and it may very well be true. Archangel, maybe then Archangel said maybe in that time, but I'm able to, he said, just say what God would have me say. God helps me to speak. So we just went to, they're trying to find out my birthmark. And if they knew where it was, they try to assimilate or make, like the purple, like not purple, but the blue birthmark, like we have it, and we know that we're from a royal house that has, it's a blue mark, and it's Mongolian, and it doesn't go away if you're real. And then we're trying to inject stuff into people's skin to try to make it. We showed you that, right? Okay, I have that. That's what it said. And so but there's another birthmark. Okay, there's a whole lot of those. But where the birthmark is, and the family never would say anything. And when I saw it, I'm like, and Dad said, "It's your birthmark." And something they didn't know about. Only few people knew about. Said our people switched it to. Now I'm like, oh, and I remembered then. So and they were wrong, trying to say, plus my fingerprints. They tried to cut my hands off and put them on something. That's why there's no successful hand transplant, because God knew they would try to do something wicked and dirty. They would try to probably hold my hand on a stick and actually we've always used our fingerprints and try to print. They're really wicked people. They're dirty people. They're filthy people. They're Nazi Germany, sodomite, garbage people that tried to hurt us all, tried to take our things. And God said, never again. We need God to help us. Our beloved God, the true God, not that J thing. The J thing is the devil. He's at war with God, trying to take over God's realm and he could never do that. And don't think he doesn't hate God's people, because he was the ones that opposed the creation of mankind, and he went to try to usurp himself against God, and he started trying to kill God's creation. He spelled on the earth and started doing all kinds of dirty things. And they were doing stuff before they fell from heaven and doing dirty things to people, trying to, that's Hitler, trying to adulterate humans that are real and trying to make them dirty and filthy. And everybody wasn't forced. They tried to force us because they knew that we would be, and they tried to kill up everybody. They didn't know anything about us or our people, except they knew that we would be, and we would live for eternity, and we would rule. They tried to kill all the royals. Mr. said, so we were hidden in places like that. And Mr. said, God made sure that we would be. So during the time when the people when that Hitler started doing things, some people left that church. They saw that it was wrong, and if they left that they would have been people who were from another thing. Because you see, the ones harassing the staunch support of garbage like that, they're hardcore, would kill everybody and do anything to anybody. They're mixed up on things. They go around thinking they're gods. They're not even gods I worship. We don't worship anything but our God. Our God is the true God, who's King of the universe. Then they start trying to, the angel book is awesome. They try to go in there. I didn't see that before. Now all of a sudden that J thing was in the garden. Nah, it's the devil. It's a snake. That's what it was. Not some starting. They weren't standing. That wasn't standing in any guard or anything. That's not anything. They told a lie. They say things we right. They try to adulterate and try to tell lies and try to fool the people. The devil is a liar. We were raised where all liars go to hell and never live again. Lying tongue, Hazel is crushed by it. It causes war. They try to get close to people to tell a lie and then kill them. And Mr. said they're crushing the people that they think may believe their lie. But at the end, they're crushed themselves, because the whole world knows that they're liars, and